back to the Secret Message Report. I'm John Kelly. This is another headline edition. George St-Pierre's secret UFO abduction messages in Vancouver report. It was no coincidence that a UFO appeared in the background when current UFC Welterweight Champion of the world, George St-Pierre, was talking on camera about acquiring insight into his life. A new video from MMACanadaTV shows a UFO shadowing the Canadian fighter during an interview taped in Montreal, like a lingering memory from his unresolved past. The UFO is seen hovering silently in the background when the fighter discussed how the film, The Striking Truth, revealed a real insight into his personal life. The UFO's mysterious on-camera appearance highlighted dimensions of Mr. St-Pierre that he himself admits are clouded by feelings of uncertainty. A new report from Vancouver suggests some answers to Mr. St-Pierre's questions, and this report is the subject of a new story in the Vancouver UFO Examiner for Examiner.com. The Honourable Paul Hellyer, Canada's former Minister of National Defence, has issued numerous public remarks concerning the ET presence and the need to end UFO secrecy since his presentation to the Toronto Exopolitics Symposium in September 2005. Apparently following in these giant footsteps, George St-Pierre has offered full disclosure of his perspective on UFOs, which he shared with television's UFC Primetime in 2010.
Biggest fear, and I know it's very stupid, and I don't even know why I'm scared of this, but it's being taken by alien. That's my biggest fear. And I know it's totally stupid, but since I'm young, I'm scared of it. And I remember my dad used to tell me all the time, he's like, "Oh, it's because you're a kid, it's gonna go away with time." Right now, it doesn't go away. I'm always scared of this thing. I'm always in black, dressed like a ninja when I run. So if a spaceship comes at me, I'll be able to run away from them.
Like an archaeologist studying Google Earth to identify forbidden secret historic sites, a Vancouver-based mobile audio lab undertook a study of a 2010 MMA junkie talk radio interview secret historic site Pierre in an attempt to identify secret messages encrypted backwards within his speech that could shed light on the UFO incident captured on tape, along with possible sources for his feelings of fear surrounding the concept of abduction by ET. The open-source analytic methodology used in detecting the secret messages of George St-Pierre reflected a graph of his digitally sampled speech from the interview across the y-axis, enabling audio playback and monitoring in reverse. The messages detected through this procedure are formed by unconscious processes related to sleep-talking and Freudian slips. They repeatedly provide involuntary disclosures, revealing the contents of the speaker's unconscious mind. Examiner.com has reported how such analysis has proven effective in the gathering of intelligence for military, political, forensic, clinical, and UFO disclosure applications. The following is the audio portions from the interview, along with secret messages and their interpretations from the newly released Vancouver report.
That's all right, you know. It's okay if they bet money, but I just don't bet money, you know. They could bet money. I mean, it's no problem with that, you know. But if they bet money on someone they think that he's gonna win, if he's the favorite, the odds are not good for them. So they have to bet a lot of money, and they're not gonna gain a lot. So it's well, it's at Vegas, you know. That's why they came for, you know. Everybody have different passion, you know. Me, my passion is sport and other things, but them it's gambling. I respect that. It's all right.
The secret message says, "Know when I see the alien."
No one I see it. No one I see it. No one I see it.
The secret message says, "Strobes in the ship."
Strobes in a ship. Strobes in a ship. Strobes in a ship.
In these messages, Mr. St-Pierre describes his ability to resolve visual contact with ETs, suggesting previous contact in his lifetime. With regards to the second message, strobing behavior of UFOs as seen from the ground has been reported previously in Examiner.com. Strobing may also be a lighting characteristic of the visual environment within these objects as well.
It was a very long time, yeah. I can't really remember. Like, last time I was in a street fight, I was, like, I mean, it was to defend myself, you know, all the time, you know. I always, when I fought, it's because I didn't have choice. It was to defend myself. I never fought because of someone could call me some name or something like that. I don't fight like this, no.
The secret message says, I miss Alien, our memory. You're the guy I met. In this message, Mr. St-Pierre displays emotional attachment to an incident from his past in which he recalls personal contact with a male ET.
The UFC came last time. They headlined the main event with two Brazilian guys, and it was sold out. So they don't really need me. Then it's good, when they come and they do it. But it's hard too to fight at home. People don't understand. It's very hard. I would like to fight at home, but sometimes if they, because I fight like a month before, and they come back in Montreal, I cannot fight every month. I need a break mentally too. So you know what, I take it and I go home enjoying the UFC show. It's fun.
The secret message says, I make his alien die, the eye of the alien. In this message, Mr. St-Pierre feels that his contact with E.T. contained initiatory overtones, exploring themes of psychic and or physical death and rebirth. His messages may also indicate strong feelings surrounding a desire for revenge and a need to reclaim personal power. They may even represent the voice of a perpetrator who felt threatened by Mr. St-Pierre's relationship with a friendly E.T. In the second part of the message, Mr. St-Pierre may have been hypnotized by E.T. during an encounter in which the gaze of the extraterrestrial provided a vehicle through which he was induced to a trance state. The eye is an important symbol in numerous traditions, including the concept of the third eye in Western mysticism, the Eye of Horus in ancient Egyptian mysticism, and the sixth or Ajna chakra of Tantra Yoga.
Maybe I coaching or whatever. We'll see. If I would, it's a long time. I can't tell. I don't even know when I'm gonna retire. I don't have any plan on this. The
secret message says, "I'm mad. Molest the ass." In this message, Mr. St-Pierre has strong feelings of anger surrounding a sense that personal intimate boundaries have been breached, and that he was a victim of molestation. The message is given in infinitive tense, implying that a traumatic memory is replaying repeatedly within his mind. Adult survivors of childhood abuse will display this form of unconscious activity whereby the unconscious mind attempts to resolve a scenario through repeated review. It is when the conscious mind gets involved as the adult custodian of a powerless inner child that resolution to these nightmare scenarios can take place. This can happen within the context of a facilitated encounter through a professional counselor or therapist utilizing resources to bring these kinds of unresolved traumas within the creative scope of patients who want to heal themselves.
I have a lot of guys that I like to fight. I like to watch fight. Actually, a lot of guys that I learn from them. Lyoto Machida in mixed martial art. I like Shogun Orua. I like Anderson Silva. I like BJ Penn. I learn a lot watching BJ Penn fighting. I really enjoy watching Ayuki, the Japanese guy.
The secret message says, hide the shame with alien man. Mr. St-Pierre's comments regarding feelings of shame portray a sense that his masculinity was compromised by the incident described above. It is less clear at this point whether E.T. was the cause of the incident, or if Mr. St-Pierre sought shelter in the company of an E.T. from someone in his own family who was molesting him.
The greatest moment of mixed martial art was not this one. Was the one with Ricardo Mayorga. smoking a cigar with sunglasses and having a translator while he's speaking Spanish and insulting his opponent, Dean Thomas. That was awesome.
The secret message says, the saucer whacks him off. From within the context of ET abduction literature, the message describes being brought to ejaculation in the presence of ET, suggesting the collection of biological materials from Mr. St-Pierre.
It's easy. French is natural for me, you know. Things come out of my mouth. The thing is, when someone insults me in English, my answer automatically come out in French in my brain. But to say it, I have to switch it back in English and say that sometimes the word doesn't. It's not the same, you know, in English. And I'm just not good at trash talking, you know. Even in French, I'm not that good, you know. It's easier, but I'm not good.
The secret message says, alien, they got the juice.
Alien, they got the juice. Alien, they got the juice. Alien, they got the juice.
This message continues the theme expressed earlier and emphasizes how the biological materials were transferred into the possession of ET. From a perspective of personal boundaries, interference by ET and or others with Mr. St-Pierre's sexual development, including non-consensual physical contact, could have contributed to feelings of diminishment of his masculinity, or the death theme as encountered above, leading to compulsive athletic overachievement in an unconscious attempt to compensate for a profound sense of lost mojo. And you can see Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, for an exploration of that theme.
So that's why for me I don't really for money and fame and things like that, because this thing is all superficial. I fight for myself, you know. The pride that I'm gonna have for myself, the glorification that I'm gonna gain of fighting, that's from myself that I get it, you know. It's not from the fame, from the fighting, you know. That's why I fight to achieve my personal goal. And once I achieve my personal goal, there's no point for me to do.
The secret message says, that alien that bless him, upset. Apparently, all is not negative in Mr. St-Pierre's contact experience, and this message suggests a spiritual dimension to contact, that ET is looking out for his best interests. However, the contrasting ideas of blessings and upset feelings paired together in one message reveal a state of inner conflict that remains unresolved. The theme of invasive physical contact balanced by intense initiatory journeying facilitated through the power of an ET mind is also explored in the Pascagoula incident witness testimonies as reported in Examiner.com.
When I say I want to be known, it's not I want to be known. I want to feel myself that I'm the best martial artist of all time, the best fighter of all time, pound for pound in the world. And I want to be also the guy that made the difference in the sport, that brought the sport mainstream. You know, that brought the sport from like a salary of maybe a 6 number to 7 number for most of the guys. You know, and that's what I want to do. I want to do something bigger than also fighting in the cage. I want to fight also for the other guy that tried to make it.
The secret message says, the romance, kiss alien.
The romance, kiss alien. The romance, kiss alien. The romance, kiss alien.
Regarding this message, Mr. St-Pierre, through his contact experiences, has formed a heart-level bond with ET. This bond is expressed through the language of romance and tender physical behavior. This may represent how Mr. St-Pierre wants to feel about his contact experiences, but the previous messages earlier indicate a journey through trauma towards this resolution. This may represent a Stockholm Syndrome-like condition where the victim whose personal boundaries have been trespassed repeatedly over-identifies with their captor, mentally compensating for feelings of powerlessness with self-suggestions that whatever happened was in the victim's best interest. Like the hypnotic eye described earlier, messages in this vein may suggest a form of ET-driven mind control, like the reward and punishment dynamics of an earthly interrogation intended to bring compliance on the part of the victim. without a greater understanding of who and what are the sources of the traumatic experiences described in the messages, the paradoxical feelings and ongoing fear of ET abduction, as described by Mr. St-Pierre in his own words, will remain. In the report, there are 8 incidents of the term alien. This word, encrypted backwards in the speech of Mr. St-Pierre, is derived from multiple phonetic sources. There is no overt palindrome effect whereby a single term, repeated forwards, consistently generates the same results in reverse. The terms mom, dad, madam, level, and are examples of simple palindromes. Expressions such as girl bathing on bikini, eyeing boy, sees boy eyeing bikini on bathing girl, provide more complex examples. The phonetic sources for the term alien, as it appears in the report outlining George St-Pierre's secret messages, are as follows. When the secret message says, "Know when I see the alien," that comes from the words, "They think that he's going to win." And when the message says, "I miss alien, our memory, you're the guy I met," that comes from the words, "Time, yeah, I can't really remember, like last time I." And when the message says, "I make his alien die, the eye of the alien," that comes from the words, "The UFC came last." And in the message, "Hide the shame with alien man," that comes from the words, "Them, Leoto Machida." And the message, "Alien, they got the juice," comes from, "Switch it back in English." The message, "That alien that bless him upset," comes from, "That's from myself that I get it." And the words in the message, "The romance, kiss alien," comes from the words, "Maybe 6 number." A review of this table reveals no obvious mechanism by which phonetic coincidence can be attributed as the sole cause for repeated generation of the term alien. In this reporter's opinion, it's more likely that the construction of the encrypted language is a function of unconscious activities, overriding conscious control of the speech organs. This unconscious override is emphatically signaling how the speaker identifies strongly with the idea that ETs exist and that he is engaged with them in a form of contact. Supporting instrumental evidence for that contact is found in the recent UFO video from MMACanadaTV. Sleep talking or somniloquy parallels this type of unconscious communications behavior. During a sleep-talking incident, the speaker is unconscious. Control of the speech organs is no longer a function of waking consciousness, yet the speaker is observed to form clearly defined words and sentences aloud. The George St-Pierre secret messages show how unconscious influences on spoken language cannot be underestimated. Their study in this case provides access to deep insights regarding the nature of human experience, motivation, and potential. The open-source methodology used in detecting the secret messages of George St-Pierre complies with the standards and results of a published study in which human listeners monitored speech sounds that had been subject to various degrees of mirror filtering in order to measure their relative intelligibility under highly filtered conditions. Commenting on the results of this study, Britain's prestigious Royal Society noted how it is remarkable that speech remains reasonably intelligible, even under conditions of extreme distortion, such as time reversal of segments of speech. The authors of the study told Nature, one of the premier publications in science, how we have studied the intelligibility of speech and find it is resistant to time reversal of local segments of a spoken sentence. One of the authors, distinguished University of California, Irvine Professor of Cognitive Sciences, Quresh Saberi, even went so far as to state how speech is a multidimensional stimulus. There are different ways you can extract a message from it. And that is the opinion of science, that there are different ways to extract messages from spoken language, including language that has been subject to high degrees of mirror filtering. What do you think? Was the current UFC Welterweight Champion of the world, the man Sports Illustrated called the 2009 Fighter of the Year, Also a victim of traumatic UFO abduction that scarred him with confused feelings and lingering fears? Join the discussion on Examiner.com, George St-Pierre's Secret Messages, and weigh in with your opinion today. This is the Secret Message Report, Headline News Edition. I'm John Kelly, and we'll be back again.